Yeah, beautiful. And in social science and in more like a human rights, then it would be the same. Just the ingredients are not necessarily bananas and peels of potato, but are harms, weapons, these things that we are kind of mobile phones that we are seeing, and also non-tangible, yeah, like non-material stuff. This all comes comes together in a different way, but serves the same purpose. And in order to be addressed or in order to be dealt with, it requires care.
Yeah, and to avoid extinction, really, and stop like a climate change abruptly. We really, I think we'll need that. We become with others, or we don't become at all.
It's not about either biology or geography or any other things. They all need to come together. I mean, it's not a new rocket science, like a multidisciplinary approach, or another version of this would be interdisciplinary approach. They both existed for quite a while now, in my field as well. The thing is actually that I have not seen yet, and it might be only me, there might be a lot about it, but I haven't seen yet the kind of a clear example of the whatever good policy, good product, good approach that is being built upon this interdisciplinary approach. I do work in some things that are interdisciplinary, but we all provide our own specific expertise. I haven't seen anyone actually mixing these two and putting them together. I think that at least in academia, and I partly work there as well, it's super rigid. So they always go for a very kind of a strong and stringent methodological approach that perhaps prevents them from meaningful engagement with actually other subfields and disciplines.
And if I was to bring it to climate change, from what I'm learning is you're bang on. Like, we need as much overlap and as much exploration of different possibilities. And I suppose with the urgency of climate change, these things have happened in the past, but they need to be the way everything's approached, I would argue, now.
Yeah, sure. I love to borrow from different sciences. I love to. That really brings me so much joy so, for example, I worked for the last 3 years on the topic of online harassment, especially female journalists. I've been looking into that from different perspectives, not only legal, also like societal, psychological. I've talked to so many people about this issue, interviews and research and whatnot. And then at a certain point, I realized, like, why we are not actually looking at the expertise that's being built for ages in the field of domestic violence, which is kind of closely connected. It's not even like that I looked into the, I don't know, chemistry or whatever they are doing there, just like a domain that's just next to this one. And when I kind of went back there to refresh my memories of what we've been working there, I picked up so many answers. I was like, wow, and then, and until then, I felt like I was looking only into one perspective, and that's the safety of journalists, that's the freedom of expression field, that's media freedom, which are all good, correct answers. I mean, you can also find answers there, don't get me wrong, but the point is that if you want to have an answer to this particular problem that targets female journalists, feminists, of course, to think that what happens online and the things that we are kind of trying to make happen in this digital field has an effect on the offline is completely false. So yes, there is this sense of urgency to understand that to address climate change, we need also to address the way we communicate online, the way we treat each other online, the way companies are treating us, and they call us users. Like, I would appreciate another title for myself, don't get me wrong, like I'm not any one user. So that's the point. That's where maybe we are now actually figuring out where is this overlap. This is where it is.
What will be your solutions to all of that? That like easy, small solutions that people could do. And what do you do? How do you?
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky. I'm really lucky to have you as my gorgeous sister. And I've learned so much. So starting from the role of the chickens in a permaculture societies, all the way to how many who call this type of onion? You have garlic onion, and what is this third green big?
Leeks.
What?
Leeks.
Yeah, leeks. How many leeks do you have to put in kimchi? So these are all the things that I've, and many others that I'm learning from you. So my solution is actually do it yourself. That's the best way to do things. Like if you don't have to buy pastry, don't buy the pastry. Make your own pastry. You know, like if I can't have garden here, and I'm really not into growing things myself. I would love to have actually a farmer where I can go and buy things. That would make me really happy, and the feeling that I maybe am contributing to something bigger in the general scale of things. Yeah, just do things yourself. Don't buy pastry, don't buy the things that you don't have to buy. Make them your own, and please do not buy new clothes. That's especially not kids clothing, and no new toys and these kind of things. Just don't support the industries that are harming us and our nature and our habitat. So again, as I said, it's a super simple, and it's not a rocket science, and it's all about care.
Okay. What do you read now? Recommend some books, please.
So what I'm reading now is okay. It's called Digital Justice. It's about community-led practices to build better society. Book is published by Sasha Constanza, and it's MIT Press 2020. It's an open access book. And it's beautiful. It's really all we care about, but just how we actually practice it in our digital lives.
Because the thing is these serious conversations are for adults, right? How would you translate this to, I don't know, my child?
My child, your child, yeah. I don't know. It's like we still haven't developed our language enough, especially the language that we use to describe these things that are happening on a way that the kids can understand them. I still haven't reached that point where I actually have to explain to my kids what is the privacy online and why is it important to have a two-factor authentication and all this digitechy kind of
That's like the front line, isn't it, for parents?
I mean, everyone keeps saying that there is no research showing that, for example, this obsession about the screen time and parenting, for example, that's a big topic. There is no actually evidence showing that the more time kids spend on the screen, that the less time they will have or focus they will have to concentrate on other things, and that there is any harm in that sense done to the kids due to
no research.
Yeah. No, I know it. And then every kid that I've said this thing, they will be like, yes, I was right, you know, like, give me now my laptop back. But I think that despite the fact that there is no like hardcore evidence proving that, we know, for example, that from the research, we know that the kids are susceptible even more to manipulation and manipulation and twisting the reality that they are seeing and the things that they are believing once they're online. So in that sense, yes, the screen time might not damage them in that sense, but definitely the interactions, unhealthy interactions, could definitely enable them to, or prevent them to understand the realities in which we are living. So the thing is, for the kids, if there would be any message, it would be stay outside, believe your senses, like not only your eyes in sense of when you're looking at the things online, but also check with your other senses whether what you're seeing is believing in that sense. And just be careful. That's it. I mean, there is nothing more to it. The risks are here and there are pretty much the same. Just just be careful when you're crossing the street. You look left and right. When you're when you're interacting with someone else, just check who they are and make sure you are not talking to someone who can actually abuse you, because that's as scary as in the physical world.
Well, thank you. And we all obviously want to live in a better world, and we want obviously our children and their children and their children and their children's children to inherit that world. So thank you for all of your information, and I just wanted you to close your eyes, and I just wondered if you could tell us what you see 10 years from now.
Can I open my eyes? Yeah, well, when I close my eyes, I often see Hawaii. I see a world where offices are closed and transportation is less frequent, and there is definitely less transportation, less movements, and more narratives that are genuinely honest and caring. That's it.
Wow, that's a cut. That's amazing.
And these things that I said, it was really like a sort of a therapy, because I've actually never thought about these things, and I said 3 completely unrelated things. That's another. Hawaii, less transportation, and caring narratives.
That's your superpower.
Well, that's it. Well, that's the world we're going to live in 10 years. Thank you for helping us get there.
Thank you. I want to live.
Thank you, guys.
This is what we want to do, like have these chats, keep getting the subscriptions. You know, it's a multi-pronged approach, like you were saying, I suppose. So
yeah, sure. And basically what you're doing is a super, I mean, it's giving a lot of attention as well, because this is what people are now trying to do. And now because everything is so agile and how to say, transformative, scientists are now looking into specific issues. I mean, it's induction deduction, we all know it, but it's about actually now looking at a very specific issue. And that's why even the science now is project based. Yeah, we work on projects instead of like a long-term doctrinal research and blah blah. But in the short term, I think that there are no quick fixes, but if we at least understand what's going on and what are the potential consequences, that we can then react. You know, like we can't fix it forever and ever, but we can at least have this better understanding, of the landscape in which the problem is.
Of the extinction landscape. Very nicely said. Много те воля.
Najviše na svijetu.
Najviše na svijetu.
thank you so much.